Alright, here's a repeat of the lesson I did last week. For those really unfamiliar with Adobe Photoshop, it's just starting, saving, and some of the reasons why we do it this way. So the very first thing is you've got to go down and find Adobe Photoshop. Now, on different machines it can be there. That's what it looks like, Adobe Photoshop CC 18. You might have 15. It doesn't really matter. There's not much difference in terms of what Adobe Photoshop can do. This is the latest version, and you should be able to download it if you have a machine at home. I'm trying to get it updated at school. So I'll click on that, and then we'll just wait for it to start. Now it doesn't matter, at the moment I know it's finished and it started here, and these are some of the projects that I was working on today. You can see, typical school teacher. If I go to File, and you're going to create a new Adobe Photoshop project. You're not opening a photograph, that's different, that'll come later on. Just a new file. So click New. You're going to have a screen that comes up. Yours will have a little bit different because of the customization of 2018, but normal photograph is normally 4 inches long or width, and the height is normally 6 inches. So if you go to Harvey Norman, that's what it is. If you orientate it, just depends on which way you orientate it. For us, because our lanyard looks this way, the resolution you can turn that up to about 300 if you want to, but normally Harvey Norman, no matter what they do, will print it to that quality. So looks good as it is. Leave these mainly as they are. In year 12 you really won't have to play with this too much, and don't worry about what the 8 bits or the RGB color. Okay, it's just red, green and blue. So create, and you'll just come up with a photograph, a blank page. Now you can use the magnifying glass on your little toolbar. If you click on it, you can actually blow it up a bit bigger. Yours might come up that big. That's what it is a magnifying glass. Now you'll see on this version that I'm using that when I roll over a tool, and your tool is your toolbar here, okay, it actually comes up and plays a little video for me. So maybe in the future it might be handy for you. The very first thing I ever do when I get into creating a photograph is you go to Windows here. Now you're going to turn on the word layers. That turns on means a tick. Properties, you turn on your options, your toolbar, that's just the name of your file. And I would say for some of you, you could just turn on history. So there you go, just click on that. Stop the video here and just do all those and see how you go. Now those continuing on. Okay, so now you've got a blank page, and you've got history. This is a record of what you're going to do to the photograph. You don't actually have to do anything, it'll just sit there and tick away. Over here you have layers. Now layers are very important later on, and you can move these layers, so you can drag these up or down, and these little tabs here, they all do something, but at the moment let's not get too complicated. You got one layer, there it is. Then just come over here, click on this one, and it's show you a little video. Of course there's a paintbrush, there it is, little video. I'll click on my paintbrush. Now every paintbrush, and I've got a huge brush there, you can see, every paintbrush across the top of your page, and you'll have this too, is the size of the paintbrush, okay, where it's pretty much stored, what type of mode it is, what's the opacity, what's the flow, the smoothing, all those fancy things. You don't really have to worry about them too much. All you've got to understand is this is a paintbrush, it's the color blue, and sometimes you might have a color up there. Now you got this color in the front is what you're looking for. Set the foreground color. This is the background color. You want a foreground color. Okay, so here I go. I'm just going to hold the mouse down, left click on my mouse, and you can see it just paints. There it is. And you can change the color if you like. I'll just click on it, I'll change it to green. You come back and practice it a bit. There it is. I'll do that one more time for you. Change the colour. I'm just clicking to make it look fancy. And there you've actually made a picture. There it is. Here is all the history of what I've done, and if I made a mistake, I can do two things. I can click on the brush tool and go all the way back to here. It takes me all the way back, so as I click back, it takes all the strokes or mistakes I've made off. Down here, that's pretty good. So that's one way of undoing your mistakes. The other way, of course, is clicking on the rubber and hopefully you'll play a film. Erase the tool. No, it's not going to do it, but normally it would. And you see here, see my eraser tool is a little bit small. You can change that by changing your size over here, or to change the size of your brush or tool, you right hand click and all these options come up, and you need to play with those. So my rubber is only about 12 pixels. I'll make it 105 and I'll just take off something. There it is. Let's not do too complicated, and you can see again the history of it. So just stop the video here and have a little play. You should go back and forth. It's only a test. You do not have to remember anything, okay, or save it I should say, but there's something wherever you are. That will print. If you go to Harvey Norman, it will print. So once you've done your picture and you've played with it a while, you go File, you should go Save As. Okay, you're going to save it somewhere. I'm just going to save mine to the desktop. It always has to be in JPEG format. This one, if I click on here, and you'll have lots of options. Okay, JPG. If you have it in any of these other formats here, for the present time, you cannot send it to Harvey Norman. It will not print. Okay, some of you will have this format come up. It is no good for printing at the moment. It can change, but I'm just telling you now. So JPG, and give it a name you can remember. So I'll call it card or lanyard. There it is. Save, and I save it. Now it's come up, looking at it, it says 54 kilobits. That's a very small quality photograph. It'll be very poor. It's about as good for putting on Facebook. Very poor, but for us at the moment, that's fine. If this says like 10 megabytes or 20 megabytes or 100 megabytes, it's too big. 6 megabytes is really good. Anyway, just say okay. You're just saving it. Okay, that's it. Then I'll go out and find the photograph just for the moment. On my desktop, I'll see if I can find it. There it is, my little card, and I'm going to click on it. I click on it, I bring it in. That's my card. I can take that in at Harvey Norman and print, and that's what it'll look like. That's just step one. And that's worth about half a mark out of 10 if I was marking it. Alright, very good. It's a good exercise to practice on.